Grandma called. She loves the YouTube channel, but she said one thing, needs more Kris.
When people ask me what I love about motorcycling, I think, what do you love about breathing? Motorcycling is amazing. It's so much a part of everything that I do and who I am now. It's hard to put into words. I can go back to when I first started, and what I really loved was it was such a visceral sensation. I could feel the vibrations of the bike and the rear tires spinning on the rocks. And I remember I would go home and close my eyes and I could still feel the rear tires spinning under my bike.
Who are you?
It's a very existential question. I'm Kris, and I ride a DR650, a Beta Cross trainer, and every so often a Z1000. Everything has been challenging about learning to ride. I think the biggest challenge that I've had is overcoming fear. I've always thought of myself who did really well as somebody who does really well under pressure, and that's true in social situations, but when it comes to speed, I have a huge freeze response, and it turns out that's pretty not useful on a dirt bike. Freezing usually means stopping and then falling over, which I've done a lot of. I have this unquenchable thirst for adventure, and everybody around me is doing these amazing things, and I just keep wanting to do what they're doing. And what's amazing is I'll go back year after year to the same trails, and what I couldn't do the year before, I can do this year. All of a sudden I'll zip to the top of a hill and go, that's not the same hill. Somebody came out and they fixed the trail for me. I want to get better and better. But bigger picture, we're doing the Washington BDR this summer, and I want to make it up some of the hills I haven't been able to make it up in the past. And I want to do LA to Barstow to Vegas, which is an intense 250 mile a day off-road ride. And then bigger picture, you know, I want to see the world. I don't know if that'll be in little short stints and taking mopeds around Vietnam, or if that's going to be riding Africa on my own DR650. When I first started, I didn't know anything about the motorcycle community. And what's amazing is, as I've become a part of the motorcycle community, I love the fact that these are my people. And anywhere I go, when I see two wheels, I know those are my people. The hardest thing I've ever done on a motorcycle? What is the hardest thing I've ever done on a motorcycle? It's hard to think of the hardest thing, but I remember the moments of going downhill and feeling sort of like my heart was in my throat and thinking at some point I actually have to let off the brake and go. And it's just terrifying. I think I'm still working on some of the hardest things that I've done. I've actually had to learn how to ask for help. And so there have been parts of the BDR, the Washington Backcountry Discovery Route, where I actually had to ask my husband to ride my bike for me, because once I stopped and fell on the rocky hill, and then I tried to go and I tried to go and I tried to go, and I was exhausted. So I've had to learn through lots of trial and error, when a trail's too hard, it's probably going to be more fun for me and everybody else if I ask for help or we go find an easier trail. Women ADV Riders is an online magazine that I'm the off-road editor for. I got involved really because I've made so many mistakes trying to learn to work on my bike, and they were looking for somebody to talk about maintenance, so I jokingly offered to be somebody who could write about all the mistakes I've made learning, and became part of this really amazing team. I got involved also because when I started riding, I was surrounded by guys, and I actually really enjoyed that part, but I started to wonder, because I struggled so much, if it was partly my gender that was getting in the way. So I needed to really infuse myself with positive role models. So with Women ADV Riders, I feel like hopefully if there are other people like me who struggle and wonder if it's possible for girls to do hill climbs and if it's possible for girls to go through rock gardens, yes, there are pictures, there are articles, there are lots of us out there riding. Well, it might sound silly, but I've wanted to ride a motorcycle since I was a kid. And I think it was watching The Karate Kid and the Lost Boys, where I first was exposed to motorcycles. Well, one of my silliest things that I remember that was really fun was I got a dirt bike video and I was home alone. And so what I did was I turned on my video and I put down some towels on the floor and I brought my dirt bike inside the house and I practiced all the riding positions in front of the TV in the safety of my living room. I think that's the silliest thing I've ever done. The other thing that I have found really, really special about riding is getting to do it with my partner. Because when you get to the top of the most beautiful vista you've ever seen, your partner's right there next to you and you get to enjoy it together. I think that's all.
If you like what you saw here today, please like, comment, and subscribe. I've also included links to my Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram accounts. We'll see you guys on the next ride.